Hey guys, so we are in Unit 6, so we're almost done with the semester. We've only got 2 more units, Lesson 1. Um, and this unit is over technology and agriscience and kind of the tech side of agriculture, which you may think there's not really technology to agriculture. Well, there is, and it's transforming how we use it every day. So, first thing you need to know is that agriculture is a science. Agriculture science is this class. So, they do use scientific research in agriculture. You should know what the scientific method is. It's one of your vocab words. It's the process or research where a problem is identified, relevant information is gathered, a hypothesis is formed, and then that hypothesis is tested. So, basically, you figure out a problem, you find all the things that you can about that problem. You tell me what you think is going to be the result, and then you test to see if you were right. And you report your findings, whether you were right or wrong. Experiments. This is where we find new ways, new yields, new crops, all of these sorts of things. So they're very important to use a scientific method in agriculture, in ag science. So here's the steps in the scientific method. You should know this from all of your science classes, but this is a good review, and I can guarantee you'll see these on some quiz questions. So first, remember, you just figure out the problem, make the hypothesis, gather the data, figure out what you're going to do, perform your experiment, record the data. The more data you record, the better. And then you talk about the results, and usually you conduct that all into a big, huge paper presentation where you're going to keep all your information together. So there's two types of research. There's quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative is going to require to collect data so you can express it in numbers, charts, or graphs. So it's very concrete. Another one is qualitative, and that's where it's more on words, subjective. So those are the two types. A good way to remember that is quantitative. Quantity is usually in numbers. That's a good way to remember that data is in numbers. And qualitative, quality people, talking, sentences. So you can remember that one's expressed in words. Then it includes a unit of measurement chart. Okay, in agriculture, most of these you're probably familiar with. One that's different would be an acre or a hectare. Okay, these are how we describe area of land. An acre is 43,560 feet. And then a lot of these other ones are pretty basic that you should know. So depending on your experiment, you could be recording all types of these or using these types of measurement to record. So as you perform quantitative measurements, you might need things to measure them. So you could use scales, beakers, thermometer, test tubes, funnels, beakers. And it's important to practice safety in laboratory when you're performing these. It just shows you some lab rules. All right, so let's talk about some current new technologies that are happening in agriculture. There's new things happening all the time that we really don't hear about, but they're really important changes that are affecting how agriculture is today. So one great thing that technology is doing is helping farmers use water more efficiently and effectively. So they're tracking the water already in the soil, so they know not to overwater, and they know to only irrigate areas that they need. So they use tools. So GIS is Global Positioning Systems. They use remote sensing. Farmers can create maps of their fields that chart both water and nutrients. This allows farmers to, they can get in their tractor and set like the straight rows or how much they want to plant. They can do it all on this little computer, and the farmer literally sits in the tractor, does not drive. The tractor drives itself. So this is way before Tesla and all of those self-driving vehicles. We have self-driving tractors. So that's really, really awesome. We use drones with infrared cameras to help. They can go in and see the moisture contents of the crops, detailed images and data that can be used to help for fertilizer use, irrigation, so many great things that we use these for. Here's a good picture that shows what it looks like, the infrared technology flying drones over crops to see which sections need more water. So that's really cool. You can see which ones, the red ones, are saturated, and the ones that are really light, they're going to need more water. So you don't have to worry about irrigating, and you don't have to waste water at all of these. Just water the ones that are needed. So this is helping water, being more efficient, and all of this. And this kind of comes into precision agriculture. And so this is becoming really popular. Farmers, and it's the precision agriculture is using information technology, giving plants exactly what they need. So nothing more. And this is something that we haven't always been able to do. So it's great that we're taking advantage of it. So farmers are able to use less fertilizer, which is great, less runoff that's getting into the water, and less water. And that increases productivity, all a win. So working with livestock, they have great technology also. So, like, how people have fitness, Fitbits. I'm wearing a Fitbit right now to track how many calories I burn or steps that I walk. So, you can do this for cattle. Really, mostly for dairy cattle. They use this a lot. They have collars that they can wear, and it'll tell that dairy farmer, like, how much that cow has eaten, how much that cow has milked that day, the temperature of that cow, if that cow is sick, how many babies that cow has had, all of that information, which is great for a dairy farmer. So here's another cool implementation. They can control the irrigation monitor with their smartphone. So how cool is that? We're really transforming the agriculture world. Okay, then we go into robotics. So one of the most promising new technologies is using robots. So that's for harvesting, weeding, spraying, thinning, sorting, packing, and more. They've got robots that they plant the seeds. People can plant seeds using a drone. It's just crazy. So farming is still going to require a lot of manual labor, and it makes a really dangerous profession. But we can use robots to help do those really dangerous tasks, so we're saving those workers. So you can see, look, there's a robot picking the grapes. Now, again, this is very expensive, so it's not ideal for all farmers, but some of the big, large farm groups are working to use this. So it says, like, picking strawberries requires very light touch, not to crush the fruit. So human pickers have an 80% success rate. Robots have a 20% rate. So they're still working on it, getting it ready. Some other technologies are CAD and 3D printers. So these advances, they represent progress, but they have cost. So not only does it cost to buy these programs, but it's going to cost to train the farmers. The average farmer is 70 years old, so they may not be as willing